the beginning of time, the only beings that are allowed to create anything are the gods. You are godly, and you have made something godly, and we are better for you being here. Thank you so much.
How beautiful is this theater? How exciting are we to be here? Excellent. It takes me a day and a half to get over there. I'll be there in a second. There we go. Very good. You know, we're smaller than I remember as being. We're in this group. Can we tell them the small story? Sure. Okay, so we didn't know we were small. We thought we were big. And we were at a soccer game of our granddaughters, and one of our daughter's friends said, "Oh, your parents are so cute, they're so little."
Thank you.
That's about my reaction as well. All right, we are right there.
So, filmmakers, here we go.
When you see these people this week,
Ask them about their films. And go to Saks Place, perhaps, or any other of the restaurants that are on our website that are offering discounts to Queen's World participants and attendees, and break some bread with them.
so we want to thank everybody for being here, and speaking of being here, thank you to the Queen's Theater for hosting this evening. You really develop artists at all levels of their careers with an incredible attention and detail to accessibility and diversity and inclusion.
Our other venues, Kaufman Astoria Studios, Flushing Town Hall, the local, and of course the Museuming of the Moving Image for making all these screenings possible.
We want to thank them for helping us to reconnect with our filmmakers, because it restores just a tiny piece of our humanity. And we also want to thank the New York Women in Film and Television for sponsoring our signing and captioning services. And we want to thank Miriam Rockford for being here to interpret for us tonight. So Queen's World Film Festival programs run all year long, including the listening tour, where we gather small groups of people together to talk about hope and resilience. Over the last 13 months, school children, the staff of local delis, community activists, artists, small business owners, they all sat down to talk to us about hope and resilience. And our preservation partners at the Queens Public Library are graciously going to be taking the material and including it in the Queen's Memory Project, so that future generations may look back and understand how our citizens prevailed.
So let's please welcome Natalie Milbrot, Director of the Queen's Memory Project, to say a few words, and then we'll make a presentation of our archives and the material.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Queen's Memory Project, I would like to just express my gratitude to the Queen's World Film Festival for creating these wonderful interviews with Queens residents about their hopes and their resilience during these challenging times. For those of you who maybe are not familiar with us, Queen's Memory is a participatory archiving program that has trained hundreds of volunteer interviewers and collected nearly 1,000 oral history interviews with Queens residents from across the borough. We know that Queens diversity is what makes it a special place in the world, and we hope that our collections can reflect that diversity. Our newest podcast season, which you saw a little trailer for up here, features stories from 8 different Asian American communities in Queens, and it's recorded in those languages. And you'll be seeing a preview of it at other screening venues too. And we encourage everyone here to check it out, and also to consider contributing an interview to the Queen's Memory Project, an interview that you create with someone who you know has an untold story of Queens that really ought to be in the history that we go forward knowing about this borough and all of the people in it. So thank you again, and we're very excited to receive the interviews. Thanks.
It's very hard to believe that all that year's worth of work is on this. It's just amazing, isn't it, filmmakers? I mean, 2 gigs, and it's amazing what's on here, so please take good care of it.
All right, okay. So now let's talk about the festival. Tomorrow night we're going to return to Queens Theater to honor 4 Spirit of Queens recipients, Sade Lithcott, Lucy Sexton, Terrence Sacramone, and Ellen Kodadak, for reimagining the practices of our arts and cultural spaces. And the presentation will be followed by a block of 6 films that we have named Remarkable Women. And at the Zucker, we will be screening Real Fur, Timur Chandri's unflinching look at the fur factories. Yes, there, he's right here. Let's raise your hand. We will see you tomorrow night at the Zucker with this film.
Thursday, we're at Flushing Town Hall with Hideout, and at the local with Stories of Healing. And at Kaufman Astoria Studio Zucker Theater with 6 films that urge us to truly see our fellow travelers in a block we call Unseen. And at the Museum of the Moving Image, we will honor Sandra Schulberg, one of our board members, for her tireless work in restoring indie films and introducing the Filmmakers' Bill of Rights. That's here. And the presentation will be followed by Filmmakers for the Prosecution by Jean-Christophe Klotz and produced by Sandra from her memoirs. It's a thrilling story of how brothers Bud and Stuart Schulberg, serving under the movie director John Ford's OSS, gathered films made by the Nazis to convict them at the trial at Nuremberg.
Friday night there will be 5 screens rocking, including Flushing Town Hall with Voices of India, 2 films that ask us to open ourselves to the possibilities of balance. And both the filmmakers, their cast and crews will be present for the Q&A.
So, excuse me, the weekend is packed with the staggering range of topics and themes: Bangladesh street life, systemic racism, first love, unrequited love, coming out, choosing violence, the first professional women's hockey league, and also 2 election campaigns and an unreciprocated 3-way that might not have been an option in the first place.
For the awards, we're switching it up just a little bit. On 10 a.m. on Friday morning, November 4th, we're going to host a live broadcast joined by Mukesh Modi, the founder of Indie Films World, to announce this year's winners. And then at 7 o'clock on Sunday, we're all going to gather at Saks Place. We're going to toast the festival, and Mr. Moody will award each of the winners with a $100 check. And we are thankful for Mr. Moody and invited him to say a few words to you tonight.
Thank you, Katha. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Good. So let's talk about who you are, what is Queens World Festival, and who I am. So let's talk about first Queens World Festival. What is this Queens World Film Festival? That's a bridge of your real world to bring it to the real world. That's what the Queens World Film Festival is doing for you guys. What you guys are. You guys have bought some topic, some create in your brain, which is the real world brain, put it everything on the paper, and then made one real world. And now that real world, which you're going to put it back into the real world. And what you have created, which I mentioned last time, which is never going to die. Like, you're going to die, I'm going to die, but what you have created, which will remain ever, forever, and forever, right? Your kids will say, my father or mother made this film, like that, right? And who I am, why, what is the name, what is the indie films world means? Where I'm also a filmmaker like you guys. When I made my first feature film, The Elevator, with Oscar nominee Eric Roberts, I went with a lot of pain, lot of hard work. I'm sure you guys must have experienced all that, but I never gave up. And then I realized at the same time of my journey, there are many people, many independent filmmakers, they can make the film, but they don't know where to release it. Sometimes they ran out of the money, they shut down in between, they close their project in between, but they don't know what to do. So that's how I started Indie Films World. It's a platform exactly like a Netflix. It's a Netflix of independent filmmakers platform. So anybody who wants to release their film, they can come to me, or they can just log into independent filmmakers. All these independent, go to indiefilmsworld.com and they can release their film there. And especially this independent films world, we are protecting all the producers, the software what we are using to protect it. Anybody wants to do the screen picture or screen recording, they cannot do it. That kind of software we're using, so then the producers are very much safe, their film, their contents are safe, that nobody can download and nobody can copy it. So this is indie films world, and with that I would also bring it back to Katha to proceed further. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, and now.
Well, and now for opening night. We are excited to share a block of films with you tonight called Now What?
And yes, now what? So you've heard me mention it before, that this is an interesting time for us, and I find myself saying, now what, almost every single day. And I want to let people know that when I watched this block that he had put together, I literally screamed at one point. It's shocking. It's shocking. And I know that everybody thinks that I'm the loud, edgy one. You should always be careful of the very quiet ones because they're very twisted. They're very twisted. You know I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. So, the first film you're going to see in this film festival is entitled What a Shitty Day by Vanessa Romero from Spain, Sour Dogs by Guillermo de Olivia from Switzerland, The Wind Girl, Dana Karim from Iraq, By Way of Water by Alexander Gould from New Jersey, Bayard Street by Cindy Chu from Queens, and last, Bow by Isaiah Smith from, well, he's right here, I saw him earlier.
So if you are screening tonight, can you please raise your hand? I believe we have a couple of people. So afterwards, we'll do a quick Q&A, and you'll get to know the filmmakers a little bit better, and you'll be able to find out a little bit more about them. So, here we are. Here we are. 12. As we move into the festival, please remember that from the beginning of time, we have gathered in the darkened caves around the flickering lights to share our stories. We've upgraded the caves. The flickering lights are now zeros and ones, but the impulse to gather remains. And it is in that gathering that we realize they is us, them is we, and I'm just another you. So, with that, thank you for choosing to gather tonight, and we welcome to Now What?